Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the March 21st meeting of the Education Finance Division to order, please. Quick reminder to members, but also a heads up to the public. At approximately 11:15, we will be recessing, and then we're back again this evening. So 6:30 this evening in room this
200, I think.
200. So we'll recess to the call of the chair at approximately 6:30 p.m. in room 200. With that, members, we're going to start with staff doing a walkthrough today on Chair Youakim's education policy bill that has come our way. We will, our intention is to lay the bill over and then take public testimony and amendments on what's House File 1711 during the markup of our division report. With that, Chair Youakim, would you like to make a motion to move House File 1711 be before the committee to lay it over for possible inclusion in a future division report?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to take House File 1711 and lay over for possible inclusion in a division report. And would you like me to sit here or there, or does it matter?
Where are you comfortable, since my understanding is staff will be
If staff, I
handling
can
the
just
bulk
sit
of it.
here and answer questions if
All
people
right.
have.
Do you have any introductory remarks you'd wish to make?
I was just going to thank Madam Chair and Mr. Chair and members. I just want to thank you for taking a look at this today. It's the hard work of quite a few weeks of our Education Policy Committee. I believe we heard bills regarding special education paperwork, how teachers are licensed, tweaks to the board that does the licensing, and ways to increase teachers of color in our classroom. We've heard bills that would require increased training for our teachers and school staff around mental health, suicide prevention, dyslexia, and much more. We've also heard bills regarding comprehensive sex ed, student press freedom, and adding credits to civics education and financial literacy, and changes to current policies, mostly non-controversial, on how we best deliver education to our students. There were robust discussions, and while we didn't always agree, it remained respectful, and I truly appreciated that, and all the work of all the members of our committee, and all the voices that came to the table to make it happen. My ultimate goal in putting this bill together was to make sure that our schools have the tools to meet students' needs, and we all know that those needs are great and have changed over time. I also wanted to find a balanced bill, and this bill is a combination of 35 of our members' bills plus the governor's provisions. There are 25 DFL member bills represented and 10 Republican ones. Not everyone's going to love everything in the bill, but I know that there's something in there for everyone to love. So there you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Looking for things to love. Good. Thank you, Representative or Chair Youakim. Ms. Para, are you in charge today?
Mr. Chair, it appears so.
All right. Thank you very much. Please.
Members, I'm just going to walk through the House File 1711, and I will start with Article 1. Oh, and just before I start, before I devolve into acronyms, PELSB, which I'll be talking about a lot, is the Professional Educator Licensure and Standards Board. I think that's the main one I'll be talking about. BOSA, however, is the Board of School Administrators. And that will also come up, and the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is the BCA.
And Mr. Chair,
Representative Chair Youakim.
you might also want to use, because I know we have a lot of the teachers of color and Indigenous Act, I just keep calling him TOSI. So that might be a helpful acronym to know too.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and
Ms. Parr.
Representative Youakim. So Article 1, General Education. Section 1 is the Section 1 relates to the transportation of homeless students, and it allows the initial serving school district to continue to provide transportation services to and from a cooperative program for a homeless student that has an individualized education program who changes serving school districts during the school year. Section 2 requires a student in foster care to remain enrolled in school within 7 school days of being placed in a foster home if it is in the student's best interest. And the student can remain in the district where the student is already enrolled, even if the foster home is in another district. Section 3 requires a school district to provide annual notice to parents of the district's policy and student absence for religious observance, and the notice can be included in a student handbook or posted on the district website. Section 4 allows the school board to consider the community's religious observance when it determines the school calendar. Section 5 requires the district to provide kindergarten. Section 6 makes technical changes to the superintendent contract statute. Section 7 expands the definition of textbooks to include some teacher's materials when those are packaged with textbooks for student use. Section 8 makes a similar change for individualized instructional or cooperative learning materials. Section 9 makes technical changes to that same section of law. Section 10 requires a school board to take charge of and control all extracurricular activities and requires the district to reserve revenue raised for those activities and spend the revenue only for extracurricular activities. Section 11 strikes language regarding fees for all-day kindergarten. Section 12 establishes evidence-based education grants, requiring applicants for grants that are administered by the Commissioner of Education to include a statement of goals of the grant that should be aligned to the world's best workforce goals and the state ESSA plan goals. Applicants are also required to include strategies used to meet the goals and to measure the effectiveness of the strategies, and then to report to the commissioner on the effectiveness of the strategies. Section 13 allows school districts to start the school year early in the 2020-2021 and 2021-22 school year. Section 14 repeals the Commissioner Purchase of Annuity for Employees statute. Article 2, Section 1 adds school district or charter school students participating in foreign exchange or study or other travel abroad programs to the statute that governs students in travel abroad programs. Sections 2, 3, 4, and 5 all relate to lowering the age of compulsory instruction to begin at 6 rather than 7, and so some of those are just conforming changes. Section 6 modifies high school graduation requirements in several ways. It first reduces the number of elective credits required from 7 to 6.5 and requires at least 1 half credit for a course in personal finance. And requires that a course for credit in government and citizenship in either 11th or 12th grade, and that's to be included in the 3.5 credits of social studies that is already required. And those requirements would apply to students beginning 9th grade in the 2020-2021 school year and later. Section 7 amends the World's Best Workforce statute by defining civic life as public engagement activities consistent with a section I'll get to later. Section 8 amends World's Best Workforce plan requirements by adding a requirement regarding access to culturally relevant or ethnic studies curriculum, inexperienced, ineffective, or out-of-field teachers, inclusive and respectful learning work environments, and retaining qualified, racially and ethnically diverse staff effective at working with diverse students. Section 9 requires the World's Best Workforce District Advisory Committee to recommend to the school board strategies to ensure the curriculum and learning and work environments are inclusive and respectful toward all racial and ethnic groups. Section 10 requires a school district to screen for characteristics of dyslexia all students identified as not reading at grade level by the end of kindergarten, grade 1, and grade 2. And then to screen for characteristics of dyslexia students in grade 3 or higher who demonstrate a reading difficulty unless a different reason for that difficulty has been identified. Section 11 defines civic life for purposes of statewide accountability. Section 12 requires the commissioner to report the percentage of students who correctly answered 30 out of 50 civics questions on school performance reports. Section 13 defines non-exclusionary disciplinary policies and practices as alternatives to removing a pupil from class or dismissing a pupil from class, and has some examples of those. Section 14 defines pupil withdrawal agreements as verbal or written agreements between an administrator and a parent to withdraw a student to avoid expulsion or exclusion dismissal proceedings. Section 15 requires a school to use non-exclusionary disciplinary policies and practices before a dismissal proceeding or a pupil withdrawal agreement, unless it appears the pupil will create an immediate and substantial danger to self or other persons or property. Section 16 requires a school administrator to ensure that when a pupil is suspended for more than 5 consecutive school days, alternative education services are provided. Section 17 requires school officials to give suspended pupils a reasonable opportunity to complete the schoolwork that is assigned during the suspension and receive credit for completing the assignment. And the section also requires the principal to designate a liaison to work with the pupils' teachers to allow the pupil to receive timely materials. Section 18 requires that the written notice of intent to exclude or expel describe the non-exclusionary disciplinary policies and practices that were accorded the pupil to avoid the expulsion proceedings, and also requires the department to post on its website a list of legal assistance resources. Section 19 requires an admission or readmission plan to address measures to improve the pupil's behavior and has some examples of those measures. It also requires parental involvement in the admission or readmission process. Section 20 requires a school board to report pupil withdrawal agreements and non-exclusionary disciplinary policies and practices given to a pupil in response to an assault to the Department of Education. Section 21 requires a school district policy to include non-exclusionary disciplinary policies and practices. Also has some requirements relating to alternative educational services provided during the dismissal period. Requires that for all exclusion, and expulsion dismissals and pupil withdrawal agreements, the district continues to review the pupil's work and grades. The pupil remains eligible for school-linked mental health services until the pupil is enrolled in a new district, and that the school district provides parents a list of mental health and counseling services that offer free or sliding fee services. Section 22 is the student journalism section. And the first subdivision defines certain terms, including student journalist and student media advisor. Subdivision 2 states that a student journalist has a right to exercise freedom of speech and freedom of the press in school-sponsored media and prohibits the school from disciplining student journalists for exercising those rights. Also prohibits the school from retaliating against the student media advisor that supports the student exercising those rights. Subdivision 3 lists conduct that is not protected by this section and allows a school board to exercise a prior restraint of the conduct that is not protected by this section. Subdivision 4 requires districts and charter schools to adopt and post a student journalism policy consistent with this section. Section 23 requires a school board to provide kindergarten free of charge to all eligible children. Section 24 modifies the accreditation requirement for an Opportunities Industrialization Center. Section 25 eliminates the income verification requirement for a child in need of protective services or in foster care or who is designated as homeless. Sections 26 to 31 change the term vocational or school to work to career and technical in the description of student organizations. Section 32 requires that an American Indian Education Parent Advisory Committee submit its reasons for non-concurrence with the educational programs for American Indian students that are offered by a school board to submit those directly to the board. And Section 33 requires an affiliated nonprofit building corporation to serve no more than one charter school. Section 3 is the teacher article. And Section 1 relates to increasing the percent of teachers of color and American Indian teachers. It states a goal in Subdivision 2 of increasing the percentage of teachers of color who are American Indian by at least 2 percentage points every year. Subdivision 3 states that that goal does not establish any rights or claims or exclude other goals. And Subdivision 4 requires PELSB to work with other state agencies and report on the effectiveness of programs that are aimed at increasing the racial and ethnic diversity of teachers. Section 2 modifies the definition of teacher to include a person with a permission from PELSB. Section 3 modifies the definition of field to be the same as licensure area. Section 4 eliminates examples of types of teacher prep programs. Section 5 modifies the definition of a teacher preparation program provider. Section 6 adds 3 members to the Pellsby board, and Section 7 modifies the board composition. Section 8 eliminates requirement relating to a Pellsby board office space that current law requires the department to provide that office space until January 1, 2020. Section 9 prohibits the public employer of a Pellsby board member from reducing the member's compensation or benefits when the member is absent on board business. Section 10 requires the board to adopt rules under the alternative teacher prep program provider section. Section 11 makes technical changes. Section 12 makes reading strategies, the reading strategies requirement applicable to all program providers, and Section 13 does the same for technology strategies. Section 14 eliminates some obsolete language. Section 15 eliminates the requirement that a background check be performed by the BCA. Section 16 modifies the license fee. Section 17 modifies the background check requirement and eliminates the language that allows, that currently allows Pellsby or BOSA to issue a license pending completion of the background check.
Ms. Para, can I just ask you to pause for a moment?
Yes.
Thank you. There's some teddies in the house, I understand. Welcome. I just want to take this opportunity to welcome Roosevelt High School 10th graders who are here today. I'm Representative Jim Davnie. I'm chair of the Education Finance Committee, but more importantly, I represent the area around Roosevelt. So a particular welcome to Roosevelt students today. Here in committee, what you're seeing is a what we call a walkthrough, a review of the education policy bill that has been brought to the committee. It's a little different than what you might have expected or a normal day here, because our nonpartisan staff are the ones who are walking through and informing the committee members what is in the bill. It covers a whole lot of turf in education about how your teachers teach and who gets to teach you. Bunch of issues around, Chair Youakim, student newspapers, wide variety of issues. Chair Youakim?
So it's the work of our Education Policy Committee that I chair, and it has a lot of stuff in there regarding teacher delivery, civics class, student press freedom, comprehensive sex ed being taught, trying to think, training for mental health for your teachers, making sure we get more teachers of color in the classroom, lots of good stuff.
So, shout out to the teddies. Thank you for coming. We also have school principals from around the state, and I think it's School Counselor Day on the Hill. So introduce yourself to each other later. But thank you all also for being here today. Ms. Para, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Section 18 makes licensure portfolio available only for Tier 3 candidates. The language regarding fees for portfolios is stricken there and moved elsewhere there, so there's just a cross-reference now. Section 19 limits Tier 1 teacher licenses to 1 renewal unless there is good cause for additional renewals. Section 20 allows a teacher with a Tier 1 license to be included in the teacher's bargaining unit. Section 21 eliminates the coursework requirements for Tier 2 candidates and modifies other eligibility requirements. Section 22 limits a Tier 2 license to 2 renewals. Section 23 eliminates language that allows a teacher to obtain a Tier 3 license based on 3 years of teaching experience under a Tier 2 license without being placed on an improvement process. Section 24 modifies the mentorship requirements for Tier 3 teachers. Section 25 eliminates the requirement that a candidate for a Tier 4 license prove the candidate's most recent summative evaluation did not place the candidate on an improvement process. Section 26 modifies the mentorship requirement for Tier 4 teachers. Section 27 allows an employing school or district to verify the teacher's skills in reading, writing, and math through the teacher's performance, so the teacher can obtain a Tier 4 license. It also allows pedagogy to be assessed through a performance assessment and requires testing centers to provide monthly opportunities for untimed skills exams and advertise those opportunities. Sections 28 and 29 go together by moving the cultural competency training out of the professional growth requirement. So the board would adopt a separate rule requiring teachers renewing Tier 3 or 4 licenses to have cultural competency training. Section 30 allows the board to approve all teacher prep programs rather than only those based at colleges or universities for purposes of licensing bilingual and ESL teachers. Section 31 allows Pellsbury or BOSA to issue non-disciplinary corrective action for certain teacher behaviors, modifies the grounds for refusal to issue or renew or to revoke a teacher's license without the right to a hearing. It allows the board to refuse to issue or renew or revoke a license upon receiving a copy of a conviction for certain offenses, and allows the board to suspend a teacher's license pending an investigation into a report of conduct that would be grounds for revocation on certain grounds. Section 32 adds a superintendent, charter school board, charter school executive director, and charter school authorizer to the mandatory reporting statute. Section 33, that's the portfolio fees requirement added there. Section 34 requires a superintendent or charter school to provide the school board with the number of teachers in each school building that has a Tier 1, 2, 3, or 4 license, and then that must be reported, that must be published by the school board and the Department of Education. Section 35 includes community education teachers that are required to have licenses in the definition of teacher under the continuing contract and tenure statutes. So that would apply to adult basic education teachers and ECFE teachers. It wouldn't apply to the teachers that teach driver education. Sections 36 and 37, one is for continuing contract districts, the other one is for tenure districts. And each one, it's limiting the placement of students in the classroom of a teacher who holds a Tier 1 or 2 license. Section 38 moves the code of ethics that is currently in rule, just moves that over to statute and adds a prohibition on engaging in sexual conduct or contact with a student. Sections 39 to 43 all modify the statute on grants to prepare Indian teachers. So the first one, Section 39, requires grantees to enter into contracts with tribal, technical, and community colleges and four-year institutions to identify and provide grants to students interested in the field of education. Section 40 removes student loans from the list of allowable uses for the grants. Section 41 requires the information provided to student applicants be acquired and updated by the contract partner institution of the recipients. Section 42 modifies eligibility for the scholarships, and Section 43 requires grantee institutions and their contracted partner institutions to provide scholarships to students progressing toward educational goals in any area of licensure, including the listed areas. Section 44, teacher mentorship and retention of effective teachers. Subdivision 1 encourages districts to develop mentoring programs for teachers who are American Indian or in licensed shortage area. Requires the mentoring program to be aligned with existing teacher evaluation and peer review processes, allows a district to use staff development revenue to pay a stipend to a mentor and certain other activities. Subdivision 2 modifies, that allows a coalition of schools, teachers, or non-licensed educators to apply for grant funds. Subdivision 3 modifies the criteria for selection. Subdivision 6 requires recipients to report to Pellsbury on program efforts and impacts. Section 45 expands eligibility for grants to develop introduction to teaching courses and expands a reporting requirement for grant recipients. Section 46 allows an achievement and integration plan to include recruitment and retention of specified staff from racial and ethnic backgrounds represented in the student population, and requires the plan to include strategies to make curriculum and environments more inclusive and respectful of diversity and address structural inequities. Section 47, that's the student teacher candidate grants in shortage areas. So it requires candidates to be student teachers, amends the definition of licensure, shortage areas, amends the eligibility for grants, and establishes priority for candidates who are of color or American Indian and meet certain other requirements. Sections 48 to 52 all amend the teacher shortage loan forgiveness program. Section 48 amends the eligibility requirements by expanding access to Head Start teachers and amending the definition of shortage area. Section 49 amends the eligibility for the loan forgiveness program. Section 50 just moves the responsibility from identifying shortage areas from the Department of Education to PELSB. The supply and demand report was moved a couple of years ago with the creation of PELSB. And it requires PELSB to identify racial or ethnic groups experiencing a teacher shortage. Section 51 adds a commissioner verification requirement, and Section 52 increases the maximum loan forgiveness amount to $2,000. Some applicants can receive up to $4,000, and it also increases the maximum number of awards a teacher may receive. Section 53 adds BOSA to the definition of a non-health related licensing board. That's for purposes of the chapter of law that governs how boards operate generally. Section 54 allows the Commissioner of Human Services to contract with PELSB to conduct background study and obtain background study data, and requires the Commissioner to conduct a national criminal history background check when required in Chapter 122A. Section 55 requires law enforcement to inform PELSB or BOSA after determining that a board's licensee has physically abused, sexually abused, or neglected a child, and requires law enforcement to work collaboratively with the board. Section 56 requires the Commissioner of Education to provide the full investigative file in a determination of maltreatment involving a board licensee to the licensing entity, and requires the Commissioner to solicit the written consent of a student and the student's parent to provide the licensing board with information that could help the board in its investigation upon request of the licensing board. Section 57 adds certain offenses to the list of offenses that if a court determines a person who is licensed to teach has been convicted of those offenses, the court has to send a copy of the conviction to PELSB or BOSA within 10 days of the conviction. Section 58 is the repealer. There are 3 paragraphs there. And the first one is the session law that relates to portfolio fees. The second paragraph is paragraph B. Here. Paragraph B relates to 2 things. One is the Tier 2 coursework requirement, and also to, because the Code of Ethics is being moved into statute rather than law, then it's no longer required for the board to adopt the rules in the Code of Ethics and rule. And paragraph C is the Code of Ethics that is currently in rule. Article 4, special education. The first section, modifying the individualized education program, makes 3 changes. It allows an individualized education program team to, and I'll just say IEP, and it allows an IEP team to eliminate benchmarks or short-term objectives, except for students who take alternative assessments. Allows districts to include in a student's IEP the student's performance on general state or district-wide assessments related to the student's educational needs. And it allows the school district to conduct a functional behavioral assessment as a standalone evaluation without conducting a comprehensive evaluation of the student. Section 2 requires the prior written notice to state that a parent who objects to a proposal or refusal in the notice can identify the specific part of the proposal or refusal that the parent objects to and request a meeting with appropriate members of the IEP team. Section 3 requires the district to have a meeting of appropriate members of the IEP team when a parent who objects to a proposal requests the meeting. And it requires the district to hold a conciliation conference within 10 calendar days of when the district receives the parent's request for the conference rather than from when the district receives the parent's objection to a proposal or refusal in the prior written notice. Section 4 allows a student who receives special education services to participate in what's called ADSIS. It's an alternative delivery of specialized instructional services program. as long as the program is in a service area that the IEP team has determined is not an educational need that results from the student's disability. Sections 5 and 6 relate to intermediate school district. Those statutes are being recodified from Chapter 136D to 123C. So you'll see that also in Sections 9 and 10. Section 7 requires the Commissioner of Education to appoint a working group to make recommendations for improving alignments between state guidance and federal law requirements on prior written notice. Section 8 requires the Commissioner to amend rule to allow but not require an IEP to report a student's performance on general state or district assessments. Article 5, Health and Safety. Section 1 encourages school districts and charter schools to provide mental health instruction for students starting in 4th grade. Requires the Commissioner of Education to consult with Commissioner of Human Services and Commissioner of Health, as well as mental health organizations to provide districts and charter schools with model learning activities and mental health resources. Section 2, Sexual Health Education. The first subdivision requires the Commissioner of Education to use the rulemaking process under Chapter 14 to identify one or more model comprehensive sexual health education programs for elementary and secondary school students and make that program available. It also defines consent and requires the model program to include instruction on particular topics. Subdivision 2 requires school districts and charter schools to implement a comprehensive sexual health education program starting the 2021-2022 school year. The program has to include instruction on certain topics. The superintendent of the school district or a person who has administrative control over the charter school has to submit to the commissioner an annual assurance of compliance with the sexual health education requirements. School districts and charter schools have to notify students and employees on criminal penalties for engaging in sexual contact with minors and notify teachers and administrators of the consequences for the license of a teacher who engages in sexual contact with a student. It also allows instruction in the program to be provided by a person without a teaching license. Subdivision 3 states that sexual health instruction is subject to parental curriculum review requirements that apply to other subject areas. Section 3 requires the Department of Education to provide guidance, technical assistance, training, and other resources to school districts regarding sexual violence in Title IX, which is a federal law, and requires the department to serve the state lead on Title IX for schools. It also requires the department to provide training to Title IX coordinators on sexual harassment and sex discrimination laws every other year. Section 4 requires Sections 4 and 5 both deal with the administration of drugs and medicines in schools. Section 4 requires the parent of a student to whom school personnel administer drugs or medicines to inform the school if the medicine is a controlled substance. There are also requirements relating to the transport of the drug or medicine. And Section 5, again, relates to, requires districts to adopt a procedure to collect and transport unclaimed drugs or medicines left with school personnel. Requires the school district to designate an individual to transport those, and prohibits the district from, or school personnel from transporting unclaimed drugs that are controlled substances to a drop-off box or collection site. Instead, the district has to request that law enforcement transport those to comply with Drug Enforcement Agency regulations. Section 6 allows a student to have and use sunscreen at school or school events without a prescription or note from a health professional. Section 7 modifies the definition of sexual abuse to include certain behaviors, and that relates to how the commissioner investigates maltreatment of children. Section 8 requires the Commissioner of Education to report to the legislature on sexual health education programs. Article 6. Sections 1 and 2 modify the lead in school drinking water requirements. Section 1 adds charter schools and requires that a district or charter school that finds lead in cooking or drinking water formulate, make publicly available, and implement a plan consistent with established guidelines to minimize student exposure. Section 2 relates to reporting of those lead in school drinking water tests, and also requires districts to remediate the presence of lead to below a level set in guidance, verified by retest, or directly notify parents of the result. Section 3 allows a district to sell or give used computers or tablets to students. Section 4 relates to radon testing, adds charter schools to the plan that the Commissioners of Health and Education have to adopt, as well as the state academies and the Pupils Center, and requires a district or charter school to adopt a radon testing schedule that tests every building serving students at least every 5 years, and to begin testing by July 1, 2020. There are also certain requirements for how the tests have to be conducted. Section 5 adds charter schools to the definition of municipality for purposes of the municipal contract law. Article 7 has just one section relating to school meals policies. Subdivision 1 requires participants in the National School Lunch Program to adopt and post the school meals policies, addressing student meal charges, collections practices, prohibiting withdrawal of meals served to students, and ensuring that a student eligible for free and reduced price lunch is always served a reimbursable meal, and that the policy be provided to a third-party meal services vendor. Subdivision 1A, that's a technical change creating a new subdivision. Subdivision 4 prohibits a participant from denying a school lunch to a student who qualifies for free or reduced price lunch, regardless of whether the student has a balance in the meal account. Subdivision 5 requires a participant to provide meals to participating students in a respectful manner, and to conform to its policy, and prohibits the school from certain practices, including limiting student participation in activities due to unpaid balances. Also requires the commissioner to send a letter of noncompliance to a participant that doesn't provide meals to students in a respectful manner, and the participant to respond and remedy the practice within 60 days. Finally, Article 8, State Agencies. Section 1 modifies the duties of the dyslexia specialist at the Department of Education. Requires the specialist to provide guidance to school districts and charter schools on particular subjects, and provide guidance to PELSB on developing license renewal requirements on dyslexia. Section 2 prevents the expiration of the School Safety Technical Assistance Center in June 30th, 2019. Section 4 does the same for the School Safety Technical Assistance Council, since both were scheduled to expire this coming June 30th. And Section 3 instructs supervisor to substitute the term school, so it renames the Technical Assistance Center and the council. So they would now be the School Climate Technical Assistance Center and School Climate Technical Assistance Council.
Thank you very much. Members, we've got a few minutes in the time that we'd budgeted for the presentation of House File 1711 for member questions. Representative Jurgens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair, first of all, thank you for including Section 7, nutrition, in your bill. And I have a question. This isn't a gotcha question. I honestly don't know the answer. But the threat assessment teams, was that something that was heard in your committee, or was that a different committee?
Chair Youakim.
Mr. Chair, Representative Jurgens, it was heard in our committee, but it had a fiscal note, so I sent it off to Ways and Means.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Jurgens. Other questions from members? All right, hearing none. With that, Chair Youakim renews her motion that House File 1711 be held over for possible inclusion in a future division report. And now, it's up to me. Oh my, look at that. 2401, where to go? Chair Youakim,
Yes.
please.
Hello, Mr. Chair. Would you like to make a motion for House File 2401?
I would, Madam Chair, I'd like to move House File 2401 be referred to the Committee on Ways and Means with a recommendation that it further be referred to the Committee on Taxes.
And so moved. And would you like to proceed to describe what House File 2401 is?
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Chair.
2401.
House File 2401 is simply an opportunity to clean up some obsolete language in the education statutes. It refers to the student achievement levy. The student achievement levy doesn't exist anymore, so we can make the statute books just a little bit thinner with the passage of this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do you have any testifiers today?
I do not. That's it.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to testify on this bill? With that, I'll go to member questions. Any member questions? Representative Caucasian?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, members. Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, any chance this will be a vehicle bill?
Mr. Chair,
And you don't have to answer.
thank you for the rhetorical question. All right, any
Wanted to get
other
on the record.
questions? Seeing none, the motion is that House File 2401 be moved to the Ways and Means Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion's adopted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members. Representative Acomb. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, it's a beautiful spring day out there.
It is.
Not that you could tell by being in here, but it is a beautiful spring day out there.
Agreed.
Didn't spring officially start yesterday?
I believe.
4:58 p.m., I think?
I believe that's close, yes.
Very good. Representative Pryor, would you like to move that House File 1133 be before the committee and laid over for possible inclusion? Are we doing possible inclusion on this one? Okay, for possible inclusion in a future division report.
Yes, Chair Davnie, I would like to make that motion.
Thank you, Representative Acomb. Nope, Representative Pryor, Representative Acomb, that's you.
We'll get it right.
Welcome to the committee. If you'd please proceed with presentation on your bill, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members, for this opportunity to present my bill, House File 1133, which is solar on schools. This bill appropriates money from a dedicated renewable energy account, as well as the general fund, for grants to public school districts to install solar energy systems, and in the process, both helping the environment and saving energy costs that can be redirected to other educational spending opportunities. This bill has already been to a hearing in the Energy and Climate Finance and Policy Committee, and we're happy to be here with you all today, although we are not requesting any funding from this division. Climate change is an important issue of our time. This session, we have seen intense advocacy of young people moving toward clean energy sources. By adopting solar energy in our public schools, this will achieve the dual goals of reducing greenhouse gases and creating educational opportunities around renewable energy. Earlier this month, Governor Walz shared his vision of 100% clean energy for the entire state by 2050, which is building upon the renewable energy goals initially established by Governor Pawlenty. In fact, the governor has further shown his support for this specific program, including it in his budget, his proposed budget. I believe it's a win-win for both our schools and our environment. And I'd like to introduce Liz Lucente with Minnesota Solar Industries Association.
My apologies. Ms. Lucente, welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and representatives. My name is Liz Lucente, and I'm the program director with MNSEA, that stands for the Minnesota Solar Energy Industries Association. We're a nonprofit trade group. We represent about 120 member companies across all the sectors of solar in the state, and our mission is to move solar forward, and we are not a nonpartisan nonprofit. Thanks for having us. Really, really excited about this bill. I mean, this is a win-win, win-win. So you don't just say win-win, it's exponential here in our view. And this, ever since this came up last year, following some very beneficial committee hearings as we watched them proceed. There were a lot of stakeholder involvement behind the scenes, just talking about how to make this bill the best as possible. There's a lot of broad support resulting in that and ensuring success for all the stakeholders. That includes everybody, utilities, the trade unions, other unions, school groups, developers, and departments who would be administering the program. So yes, as Representative Acomb said, a win-win, win-win, and it helps schools save on their energy bills, which are currently the second highest budget item behind personnel costs. It helps the ratepayers because it lowers your taxes that you have to expend in the community to pay for energy costs at schools. It grows the clean energy group statewide. Currently, we have about 4,600 solar professionals in the state. Solar installers now the top employing job title in the United States and also Minnesota. It would really help our industry grow. And it also helps educate the students and the communities. There's a visible component to this that really does cater to STEM learning potential. It's right there on the school. It also is visible for the communities, so it's not just students who learn and benefit, it's the entire generational scheme. So we're here in support, and thank you so much for having us to testify. There's a couple of business here also that want to talk favorably for the bill, so thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lucenti. Michael Thalheimer? Am I butchering your name correctly? My apologies, sir. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, representatives. My name is Michael Thalheimer. I'm the Director of Business Development for All Energy Solar. We're St. Paul based. We've been here since 2009, supporting the engineering, design, installation, and service on solar projects across the region. We're now a company of over 130 professionals specifically dedicated to solar. We've got roughly 3,000 customers in our book of business to date and growing, and appreciate the opportunity to be here to speak on behalf of support for solar on schools. We've seen a variety of solar programs come around the state of Minnesota over the last decade that we've been here, and certainly we've established our company to serve the market in that we can provide locally based and customized services in support of these projects. And that's been across a broad range of sizes and types. We're excited about solar on schools, particularly because this offers a way to see more significant, more impactful solar installed across our Minnesota school districts. These are sites that have historically seen solar project sizes a bit smaller, and that's really in part due to prior programs having system size caps that made those programs attractive for institutions like schools. However, ultimately, while that demonstrates solar adoption, that demonstrates solar participation, the ultimate impact on districts in terms of cost savings hasn't been that substantial. So we fully recognize there is a tremendous impact and educational value that's significant here, but this bill particularly represents the opportunity to take these prime solar properties and actually install more substantial on-site solar, see more significant reduction in energy costs to the districts, but also in the process we use this as an opportunity certainly to teach our schools and our communities about how these projects can work and how these systems can benefit everybody. So we are poised at All Energy Solar to facilitate projects for this program with local Minnesota jobs. That's our aim. That's always been our focus, and we continue to grow because of programs like this. And we're certainly excited to support districts as they learn more about how to track the impact that these systems have on our communities. So we certainly appreciate the consideration of this bill, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Thalheimer. Braden Solem is who I have up next. Mr. Solem, welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
My name is Braden Solem. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for Ideal Energies. We are a commercial solar energy developer based here in Minneapolis. Our company has been around since 2010, and to date, we work heavily in the public sector with cities and schools. So far, we've done about 14 districts around mostly XL Energy territory, equaling about 65 to 75 school buildings. We're building a lot right now, so I'm not sure what the exact number is. But like I said, these projects have historically been about 95% in Excel territory and mostly utilizing these smaller solar energy programs that have existed to date, like the old Made in Minnesota program and now the current Solar Rewards program. We support House File 1133 because it will allow schools for the first time in most cases outside of Excel territory in some of the municipal and co-op regions to actually take advantage of the educational and financial benefits of solar. I've talked to many districts that have approached me before from outside of Excel territory asking about the possibility of putting solar in the schools, and my answer to date has just been wait. So this bill will allow us the opportunity to go take advantage of those benefits for those districts. It also will allow schools within Excel territory the financial security to install larger arrays across their buildings, like Mr. Thalheimer said, or Thalheimer, sorry, which will, again, maximize their financial savings in their districts. And then we do support the bill as written, as you're seeing it today, but we have heard that there are some revisions kind of floating around that might allow Excel Energy to administer the program within their territory and recover some of the PPA costs from their fuel costs, which would make the RDA funds go a lot further. So with that, just wanted to voice my support for the bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Solom. And members, I need to point out and thank Mr. Withers for pointing this out. The bill that is in your packets is as introduced, not the first engrossment, and I apologize for that. The nonpartisan research brief that's in your packets is to the first engrossment. And if members wish, we can have the first engrossment in the packets for tomorrow's hearing, if they wish to review it. With that, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to testify either for or against House File 1133? Good morning. Welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, I'm Ken Sulam with the Minnesota Municipal Utilities Association, and we certainly support the concept. We just want to get a little clarification because even beyond the first engrossment, there have been a group of us that have been working very closely with the representative and with MNCEA, and we were under the understanding that this next step for the bill would be back to energy where that amendment would be done. And now I understand it's going to the division report. I just was looking for a little clarification of the process we can share with our members.
Representative Acomb, what is your pleasure?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. And since I'm new, I don't necessarily know all the procedures, but it's my understanding that it is being worked on. It's our commitment to ensure that we get a working bill that all stakeholders are comfortable and happy with. And so that work will continue, and it will end up in energy and climate. And I don't know if there's another hearing or if it becomes part of kind of what you guys just did with the education policy. I don't know how that works, but I can get back to you with that information. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine. We just wanted to, we fully trust everything. We just were curious to the process, so.
Me too.
Yes. I think that's a universal sentiment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Mr. Winton. Welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Rep. Acomb. My name's Cameron Winton. I'm an attorney with the Dorsey & Whitney firm, appearing briefly on behalf of Excel Energy, which is a client of the firm. For the record, my mother-in-law is Lori Pryor, and we've promised each other over Sunday dinner that we'd never testify in each other's bills, but here I am. So it's a bit awkward, but hello, Representative Pryor.
It's just an opportunity for us to bring families together.
Isn't it lovely?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome,
I do
Representative
appreciate
Pryor.
the opportunity.
What was dinner on Sunday?
We actually had to miss it. We had a sick kid, so I'm sure it was something delicious. But my goal in appearing before the committee is just to shine a light on the same topic that the previous testifier also mentioned. That is, there have been great conversations between the utilities and industry and advocates about how best to structure the Solar on Schools program. And Excel Energy is excited as well about what can be done here to deploy more solar, on more school roofs. It's, of course, the discretion of my mother-in-law and the chair where this bill would go next, but respectfully, I'd submit for your consideration that rather than holding it over for potential inclusion, sending it through whatever mechanics back to the Energy Committee, where it could be amended with the agreement that all of the stakeholders are currently working on, might be the best way to achieve the shared interests of all of the stakeholders.
So hearing this questioning and appreciating it, I can assure the public that I'll consult with Chair Wagenius and see how she best wishes to handle this. I thought we had that, and I thought this was it, but there's questions, and I can certainly consult with her.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just so that
Mr. Winton.
I'm being very clear on the record, the current status of the bill is not it. The current status of the bill does not reflect consensus among the stakeholders. The stakeholders are meeting near constantly to achieve that consensus, and boy, we're close, but we're not there with the version of the bill that's before you today.
Thank you, Mr. Whitten. I do hope that the stakeholders continue to work towards a peace in the valley sort of thing, as some people like to say.
And
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may just say that
Representative Acomb.
I do recognize while a perfect concept is not a perfect bill, and we are committed to working together, so we will continue that. So I just wanted to make sure that was understood.
Thank you, Representative
Thank you,
Acomb.
Chair.
Representative Kresha.
Just a quick note to that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you're working through, and good luck with all the collaboration and getting peace in the valley. But I would just say that if on the way to get there, if there's any changes to the education, just as long as we have a consideration of what language we may need to review, I'm not necessarily asking for the bill to come back here, but we should know that so we're not left out.
Thank you very much, Representative Kresha. Mr. Heller, to the content of solar in schools. Welcome to the committee. Please introduce yourself for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Chair. Davnie, my name is Rick Keller, unofficially represent the twice exceptional in Minnesota Statute 120B15 or on House File 1370, line 1.18. The print disability is found in the Higher Education Act, as well as in the Special Ed Law of 2004 called IDA 2004. Regarding this Bill 1133 on solar, when they do that many modifications on roofs, there's going to be a whole lot more additional costs, and I don't know who's absorbing those costs, but anytime you penetrate a roof and put solar panels on it, it makes it a lot more harder to put a new roof on these buildings. And since school districts are required to maintain their roofs, hopefully within these specific agreements that those solar individuals, those third parties are using that surface for that roof for those panels, hopefully somehow that difference in cost to replace or repair those roofs because the solar panels are in a way can affect the expense for the state of Minnesota as well as school districts. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Heller. With that, we turn to member questions. Representative Sandell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I certainly appreciate Representative Acomb. This bill is terrific. As I understand, it's only for retrofitting buildings. Is that correct?
Representative Acomb.
Mr. Chair and Representative, if I understand, so are you asking if on new construction or construction of a new school could that be used? Is that your question?
Representative Sandell.
Sorry, Representative, Mr. Chair. I thought the bill described improvements to standing and existing buildings. Is that correct?
Representative Acomb.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess I would see it as adding, so I think the intent of the bill is to take existing schools, and I don't think, though, that new schools would be out of the realm. And so the intention, though, is for all of it is to look at schools' energy costs, implement renewable energy in a way that can save schools money and use that money in the classroom. And so retrofitting, I don't know that I don't think it's just retrofitting. If a district was building a new school, I think they would be able to utilize from these funds as well.
Ms. Lucenti, can you help on this?
Yes, I think thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative. I think that is the intent of the bill to apply to all schools. It also applies to adjacent property, so it doesn't have to be on the school building itself.
Representative Sandell.
Mr. Chair, thank you. One other question, and I understand this is limited to public schools. Is there a reason that independent schools are not included?
Representative Acomb.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think that the intent, again, is to look at public resources being used on public schools.
Representative Edelson.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Representative Acomb, for bringing this bill. I am a big fan of this bill. We in Edina have a group called, sorry, Martha's head is like right in my group. In Edina, we've a group called Project Earth, which is a student environmental group. Maybe you're familiar with them. You're nodding your head. Has fundraised in Edina to have a solar garden, a solar array put on our school. It is something that we've been working really hard on. And so I think about the equity in this. Not every district can have students that can fundraise. So this grant program is so amazing. I helped bring Edina our first solar garden. I think solar is such a great way to have energy independence. I love the educational component to this. I just have one question on line 3.1, between 3.1 and 3.3. When you say the investor acquired, that is now. I just want to know more about the collaboration of who is the investor going to be outside of the district.
Yeah,
Representative Acomb.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative. And I'm going to let Ms. Lucenta go to speak to under the definitions, I bet, isn't it?
My chair's question is that language in the first engrossment, since we do not have that engrossment in front of us?
I don't think so. So I'm looking at the original bill, and so I might be looking on different things. But when you're speaking about an investor, I think that so I'm going to let Ms. Lucenta speak to this, but in essence, a school cannot benefit from the federal subsidy program. And so a third-party investor would come in to help a school be able to benefit from that and pass the savings on to the school while they cannot be the direct recipient of those subsidies.
Ms. Lucenta, can you help
Thank
briefly?
you, Mr. Chair and Representative. Yes, and one of the companies here would be well versed in that as well, and maybe they can chime in. But yes, the intent is that because public institutions can't take that investment tax credit, it's 30% savings that can be passed on from the investor right to the school. And Braden Solom from Ideal would be a great person to elaborate just briefly on that if you're willing.
Chair, that would be great. Yeah, I guess I just want a clarification though in terms of yes, I would love him to come up and speak, but to hear that the energy costs are going to go down for the school. So the investor would take the tax credit, but they would pass off the savings. I guess I'm just clarification on that.
Thank you,
Ms.
Mr.
Lucente.
Chair and Representative. Yes, that would be the intent. There's also accelerated depreciation that you can take, so it ends up being a pretty good bundle that those savings are delivered in a bid to the school. That's a lot more competitive.
Thank you. Representative Jurgens.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know that there are companies out there, maybe Mr. Thalheimer or Solom can comment, I'm not sure their respective companies, that will enter into an agreement with a municipality, for example, where the energy company actually owns the solar panels, and then they have a contractual agreement where they pass on the savings or they share in the savings. Would that be allowed under this grant program? And who actually would own the solar panels, the schools or the energy company?
We're a little outside the usual deliberations for the K-12 committee. Who can help us with that? Mr. Solom, please. If you can explain the relationships that are proposed here.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, when you do a solar project with a nonprofit institution, a public institution, you do something called a power purchase agreement, which is where an investor comes in. And you can structure it one of two ways. You can do what's called a capital lease, where the school district is actually fee title owner to the system, or a traditional third-party power purchase agreement where a third-party entity actually owns the array on top of the school. Either way doesn't really matter. What you're really doing is the third party is coming in and providing the capital for the project. They are then, through a leasing structure, able to go and monetize the tax credits, the 30% that the project is eligible for from the federal government, which, like I said, covers 30% of the project cost. They're able to monetize depreciation, and then they make up the remainder of the purchase price, which is about 40% of the remaining purchase price through energy payments through the school. And what you do is you structure the agreement to be out a certain term, say anywhere from 15 to 25 years. And you do that so the energy payments that the school is making for the energy produced by the array are less than the amount that they're actually saving, generating savings. So on a typical PPA with a school district, from our experience, a school is seeing somewhere in the realm of a 20% savings on the energy that's being produced by the array, resulting in some pretty significant savings to the district over time.
Thank you, Mr. Solom. Representative Jurgens.
Follow up to bring it back to education finance.
Okay.
So if the school then, would the school be able to use the long-term facilities maintenance revenue to maintain this solar panels?
Mr. Strom? Mr. Solom?
Under the terms of a power purchase agreement, the third-party investor has to operate and maintain the array for the entirety of the agreement. So the school is pretty much hands-off. They're just purchasing the energy and generating savings.
Okay, thank you. And then just as a quick follow-up, no
Representative
question here,
Jurgens.
but I know that one of the benefits to doing this is being able to show the school children. You can have a reader board of some sort in the school saying, today we're generating this amount of energy. So it's an educational advantage as well.
Yes, and thank you to staff for providing us with a copy of the first engrossment. So members, it's coming around now, and I hope that that helps clarify any other questions folks may have. Representative Kresha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Acomb, for bringing this forward. Just very quickly, in my area, I know we've talked a lot about solar panels of the state, but as I understand it, and you can help clarify, maybe educate, even though this is available to all school districts, are all school districts an ideal candidate? In other words, what I've heard is, in northern Minnesota, for example, this may not be something that may be viable. Say, Grigla, Minnesota, I'm asking some of the experts. The only reason I say that is we were looking at doing a solar panel in our area, and they said we were right at the line of where it's the most beneficial with the sun's rays. Is that true, and how does that apply to northern school districts?
Mr. Solom?
Yep, Mr. Chair, Representative, it is pretty much the entirety of the state of Minnesota is a good candidate for solar. Really what we're looking at when we're looking at a school building is the only thing that can be prohibitive is the age of a roof. And if there's land next to it, you can still do it. So from our experience, the entire state is pretty much a good candidate for solar. The only thing you really see when you go north is higher snow loads on buildings, which can be prohibitive structurally. But in terms of energy production, the difference across the state is not that much.
Representative Kresha? All right, thank you. The mother-in-law, Representative Pryor.
Thank you. So back to the what K through 12 would be thinking about and talking about is when you talk about the land next to a school, are there safety concerns that then school district also has to understand about having a solar array next to? I mean, I know that it's not moving parts, but are there still safety concerns that school districts would need to be aware of?
Mr. Solom, in the event of a solar spill?
A sunny day. Mr. Chair, Representative, there are building code requirements around fencing, but with a solar array, pretty much everything once it's installed is extremely hard to, I guess, mess with in a way. You have padlocks on the inverters, padlocks on the shut-off valves, essentially, and the wiring itself is tucked up into the racking, and that would be on a ground-mounted array. Like you said, no moving parts. So in terms of safety, I don't see a big issue with it.
All right. Representative Acomb, any closing comments?
Well, maybe I'll just actually refer to.
I'm sorry, Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and either to Representative Acomb or the testifier. The nonpartisan House research overview says the grant funds a lease under which the investor pays the initial deployment, and the school district makes annual payments under a purchase payment agreement. So those purchase payment agreements are going to come from the grant. And what will this actually cost a school district?
Representative Acomb?
Thank you. That's a great question. And did you?
For Mr. Solom, it looks like.
Sure. Mr. Chair, Representative, when you do a power purchase agreement, the actual cost to a school is $0. So what they're actually doing is they're making payments, but they're only making payments for the energy produced by the array. That is an agreed upon price up front. And that agreed upon price is it's a competitive price. I mean, they can get multiple bids, but essentially that price will always be lower than the value of the energy coming off the array. And that typically escalates over time, but it escalates lower than the rate that the utilities rates go up, so essentially hedging further their energy savings. So when we do business with the school is never out any money.
So, Mr.
Representative
Chair,
Erickson?
thank you. One last question then. So it reads, when the investor has exhausted the financial benefits of the project, the school district purchases the investor's remaining financial interest in the system and terminates the agreement. So what's that going to cost?
Mr. Solom.
So it depends on how the PPA is structured. You can have a power purchase agreement under what's called a capital lease, where all an investor's remaining interest is it's either a fair market value of an array at a certain point. So if it's a 20-year power purchase agreement, that array is fully depreciated at that point. So if the school were to make a payment to take ownership of that array, it would be very little. In some cases, if it's a 25-year agreement, it can be as low as $1. And under what's called a capital lease power purchase agreement, it's typically $1 for them to purchase the remaining financial interest. Now, if a school wanted to terminate a power purchase agreement early, then you would do a fair market value of their remaining energy payments. But again, that would be the only case where a school would be making a payment to terminate a power purchase agreement early.
Mr. Chair, I think Ms. Dietrich wanted to add something.
At this point, Representative Acomb, do you have any closing comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say that it's this area of the bill that is under consideration and discussion with the stakeholders. And so just to be clear, none of that has been hammered out yet, and it's in the works, and those details will be looked at and analyzed. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Acomb, anything else?
I just appreciate your support in hearing the bill today, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. With that, Representative Pryor, were you the one who made the motion?
I made a motion for it to be laid over for possible inclusion.
Perfect. With that, Representative Acomb renews her motion on House File 1130.
Representative Pryor.
It's okay, you'll get it right.
I'll get it right eventually. Representative Pryor renews her motion that House File 1133 be laid over for possible inclusion in a future division report. Thank you very much. Members, we have 3 more bills, all highly similar to each other, so they're going to be heard kind of in series and kind of all at the same time. And we have some testifiers who've come up from southern Minnesota to discuss welding mostly. Representative, grab chairs as you need, or have a seat in what we've christened the bullpen.
With that granted,
So members will notice we have Chair Poppe, Representative Gunther, and Representative Bennett all up because they all have their fingers on this area. Representative Poppe, we'll start with your bill. I will I will move that we lay House File 692 over for possible inclusion in a future division report. If you could briefly present your bill, please. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. This is a bill that deals with extended time aid formula. And I work as a college counselor, and I will tell you that it's really great when we have students who have discovered their passion and their passion for what they'd like to have as their career. Sometimes that's difficult to do if they actually haven't experienced enough different things to kind of find that passion. And so one of the ways to do that is within the high school setting to be able to have opportunities where they get to try out a number of things. And unfortunately, many times students have full commitments during their day, and so they might not be able to actually try out welding or an auto service kind of program or a carpentry program or whatever it might be. And so those students are at a disadvantage, frankly, when they want to discover maybe what their interests are and what their passions are. So what this bill would do is allow for extended time aid formula to be able to count time and be able to receive some funds if a student who has a full day is able to get some additional training outside of what would be considered the school day. And so I know that we are here as Southern Minnesota representatives that represent a wide swath of the Southern Minnesota region because we all know that we have a workforce shortage and we have a need to encourage students to look at career and technical education. So we all have a little bit different version of a bill to be able to provide some assistance to those students and to our schools to be able to provide that. So that's what the House File 692 is. And we do have the testifiers that are here for all of the versions of the bill, Mr. Chair.
So let's, if it's acceptable to the other members, let's have the presentation. We'll then close out House File 692. We'll then bring up House File 73 and retire it, and then bring up House File 246 and retire it, so that the presentation occurs and all the bills get moved and placed for under consideration for the committee. Is that acceptable to the other authors? Thank you very much. With that, Superintendent Brown, welcome to the committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Joseph Brown Sr. I currently serve as the superintendent of Fairmont Area Schools located in south central Minnesota, right on the Iowa border. We have one more lake in Minnesota, by the way. It's called Interstate 90. It's incredible. Well, I have a very unique position in that I actually serve as superintendent in Representative Bob Gunther's district. I physically live in Representative Bennett's district, and I can honestly say that from my front porch, I can see Representative Poppe's district because it's right across the street from our highway. I want to thank the committee, too, for your good work in terms of giving schools some flexibility for our inclement weather. We had a tornado in Fairmont in September. We've had 10 snow days. We've had multiple days out because of early outs or late starts, and it's been quite a winter. Let me tell you the story, and I have some testimony that's written, but I'm just going to share with you a story because I want you to hear from our vocational principal and one of our welding and automotive teachers today. A number of years ago, I've been at Fairmont for 9 years, and after my first year, we had to cut $1.5 million. We had to cut 40 jobs. We didn't cut any teaching jobs, but if anybody left, we didn't replace them. We are now in great shape financially. However, in my second year, I remember Mr. Bodine came to me and said, Joe, I need $10,000 more for supply money for welding. He had 86 students taking welding. And so I went to the school board and asked him for an additional $10,000, and the board chair said, no, we just cut $1.5 million. Go out and raise it locally. So I sent letters out to 10 different companies in the region in north central Iowa and south central Minnesota that need welders. And I remember I got a phone call from the HR director from Acomb, located in Jackson, which is a district west of us. And she said, do you guys teach welding? I said, yeah, we've got 3 different levels. Oh my goodness, she said, we need welders so bad. What can we do to help? Well, you could donate money. Well, she did. And they actually donated at that time $5,000. And that allowed us to have our first summer welding class of 15 days, 4 hours a day from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We've now continued that. So we continue to have summer welding classes and Saturday welding classes. And these classes serve not only our students, but students in the other public schools in our region, as well as the parochial schools in our region. Right now, Bob's got 20 students in his class. We have 12 adults. And many of these adults are individuals that want to learn how to weld so they can get directly into the workforce. What our ask is today is very simple, and let me tell you the story behind this. A few years ago, when we first started these programs outside of the regular school day, I contacted the Minnesota Department of Ed, and all I asked for, can we count these kids as students for the hours they're taking, and can we generate state aid? And their answer was no. And I said, why? Because it's outside of the regular school day. And the only way we could fix that is if we required all 1,652 children to come to school on Saturday. Well, that's not reasonable. And it's not affordable either. So for the last 4 years, our school board's been very generous because we know that we need skilled workers in Minnesota. And really our purpose here today is to try to increase the number of skilled workers we have in the state and do it very quickly. And you'll find out later on, we need 260,000 additional workers in Minnesota before now in 2022. And this is really a crisis. And we represent a lot of areas. One of the superintendents here is from Waseca. Waseca, and I made a list here of all the schools in our region: Waseca, St. Peter, New Ulm, Hutchinson, Redwood Valley. All of these schools are putting back in vocational programs. Now, what happened to vocational programs? Well, if you can recall, 10 years ago, we had many budgetary issues here in the state. Many schools across the state cut their vocational programs. They simply eliminated them. And vocational programs are expensive. They're the most expensive program that a school has because of the equipment, because of the safety issue, because of the supplies. And yet, our state needs skilled workers. We need carpenters, we need welders, we need electricians, we need plumbers, we need auto mechanics. And yet, we have a whole group of people that are my age that are getting ready to retire, and we have very few people coming into the program. And that's why we need to help out. What we found in our school and many schools across the state is, why don't students take vocational programs? Well, the fact of the matter is their schedules are jammed. And on the third page of our presentation, I gave an example of two of our students. One is Anna Nordquist, and Anna came up here last. Where you are? There's Representative Bennett. Anna Nordquist came up last year when Representative Bennett had a bill up. Anna's a very high-level student, straight A student, taking 5 college classes, taking Spanish 4, and she plays cello in the orchestra. She has no time during the regular day to take a vocational class. However, she's our best welder. And she's taken, well, Bob's our best welder, but as a student, she's our best welder. And she's taken the Saturday welding class 3 times in a row. And she'll be going over to Riverland Community College to compete in the next few weeks in the welding program. Then we have students like Lucas Denny. Lucas is another example, one that has their schedule jammed. Some of our students that want to take vocational classes, they may have failed a core class in 9th or 10th grade, and now they have to retake 2 math classes or 2 social studies classes. Their schedules get jammed, but they're willing to come to school on Saturday from 8 to noon, or they're willing to come to school in the summer for 3 weeks, or they're willing to come to school at nighttime to take these classes. Folks, here's the deal. This is an astonishing figure. But we only use our public schools in Minnesota for direct instruction 15% of the year. 85% of the time, there's no kids in our building. 6.5 hours a day times 174 days, or if you have a winter like ours, 160. But we only use our schools 15% of the year. And it's ridiculous that we have this expensive vocational equipment that's only available for that limited amount of time. And so what we're offering to do is that we are willing, and many of our schools across the state are willing to develop more skilled workers. I did do a cost-benefit analysis here of what would happen if we did get extended time. It does not pay for the whole program. It pays for about 2/3 of it. And we're fortunate that we actually have these 3 legislators that have proposed a little bit different version of the bill. Senator Rosen, who's also the senator representing Fairmont, she has a bill, Senate File 1056, which is amended, and that's also attached to the very back of this packet. And that's a little bit different way. I don't have a preference on how we fund this, but I do know this. It's within the best interest of Minnesota to find a way to fund that starting July 1, so we can get construction trades programs going in the summer, so we can get other vocational programs in the summer.
Superintendent, would that be a good point to hear directly from Mr. Bonin?
Yes.
Mr. Bonin, welcome to the committee. Please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Chairman Davnie and the committee members. My name is Robert Bonin, Jr. I am the CTE teacher in Fairmont, and I've spoke before, and a lot of you have heard me speak, and so you know I'm pretty passionate about this. And some of the things that I want to kind of highlight this time is in recent discussions, as this bill is being, gaining more foothold, people are starting to talk about it in our areas and things like that. We do have, as Joe's pointed out, a large number of students that are benefiting from this enrichment that comes after the school hours. The other thing is we're also starting to see a swelling of former students that have already graduated that did not get this same opportunity that our current kids are getting. And they're the ones that are now starting to go through our CER and enrolling into the course for the low cost that we have it at right now. And so what is the benefit? And the benefit is the skilled workforce. We have a large number of local manufacturers who have directly benefited from these kids that have taken this extended time, whether they're from our own district of Fairmont or the neighboring districts that are sending their students over as well. I was visiting with one of our manufacturers yesterday, and we visited about the fact that some of the local manufacturers have been able to keep their production where it is, or have been able to expand because they have that new workforce coming out of high school that have the competencies to maintain the current level of manufacturing in their facilities. Zerke Built Manufacturing moved to Fairmont, which is in the packet. We've talked about it before, but they have expanded to the point now where they've outgrown that new building that they built in Fairmont, and they've expanded back to where they came from. So they're in the 2 locations already, and that has allowed them to secure more contracts. And when I worked with their human resource developer, or human resource gal on this last week, she was commenting the fact that we have a workforce for them allows them to do that expansion. We have a student that just had completed his 40th of his 60 hours on that Saturday work class, and he has been hired already. So the kids have the ability to go right to work without having to go on to a secondary education. Now, I don't push that. If you come down and you listen to us speak at our class, we still encourage the kids to go to a secondary school like Mrs. Poppe works at. And of course, I teach with Riverland as well with our CIS courses, and we want those kids to experience that. But a lot of our secondary schools right now are no longer offering just a welding certificate, which was a shortened course that really just, in Riverland did it at one point where you had just the welding certificate. I didn't need to learn about the industrial maintenance and machine repair and all of that. It was just a real quick 9-10 week program where they were able to get that welding certificate. So a lot of the colleges now, you have to go to at least a 9-month to be able to get that same certificate, which is awesome. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but a lot of our local manufacturers are not wanting to wait 9 months to build that workforce. So by us having this program and having the opportunity to do it after school on the weekends, it's just a huge benefit to our local economy.
Thank you, Mr. Bonin. Mr. Reto?
Correct. Yes, thank you.
Welcome to the committee. First, please state your name for the record and proceed with your testimony.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Andrew Trado. I'm currently the principal at Fairmont Area Schools that has the privilege of serving our vocational programs. In the last 2 years, having these responsibilities bestowed upon me, it's really been an enlightening experience to see our vocational programs grow in the opportunities that our kids have been afforded. And the fact that we are back to testify on a similar topic for 2 years in a row is a testament to the need that's still there in our communities and for our students to have these opportunities. 5 years ago, our state enacted legislation, and when the world's best workforce went into effect, one of the pillars of that was career and college readiness. And that, in part, was there to ensure Minnesota's presence as a competitive, viable workforce for our future generations. And as Mr. Brown alluded to, by the year 2022, our state as a whole needs to find a way to generate approximately 250,000 jobs. And programs like ours allow us to be innovative and try to be on the front edge of that for our next generation of workers. One of the things of note that the St. Paul Building and Construction Trades Council has put out is that nearly 55% of our graduates get lost in a career field upon graduation from high school. What that means is they enter the workforce without a vision for their futures and what they want to do, simply to make ends meet and pay their bills. 2 unique stories that we've been able to experience as a local school district this year. We have 2 senior male students that going into the school year really lacked direction for what they wanted their future to be. One, Mr. Bonin, was part of a meeting of a student that was considering dropping out from our high school and became engaged in these vocational classes, welding specifically. And just last week, he took part in taking his AccuPlacer test to go on to post-secondary education in the area of welding and our trades. And so that's one example of the way that these opportunities for kids to engage outside their schedule has inspired them. Another one is a student that has been here a couple weeks ago to testify on behalf of this bill as well. That lacks some direction in what they wanted their future to be, and through these opportunities has gained a sense of purpose for his future. So those stories alone are evidence that these types of programs are indeed promoting our students for advancement in their career areas. You know, it is a challenge for our local businesses for recruiting skilled workers from our locally grown industry, Zerke-built manufacturing that was mentioned, to worldwide companies such as Avery Waytronics that are located in Fairmont, have benefited from our students engaging in these practices and supporting what they do. And ultimately, what we're looking for is to continue to generate young adults that become contributors to our local and state economies through gaining these skills and directly entering our workforce. So ultimately, that's our goal, to create tax-paying citizens that are positive members of our communities.
Thank you, Mr. Trato. Representative Poppe, any closing comments?
Thank you for your consideration. I think these are good proposals, and I think it would be behoove you to consider them and I think wisely to include them in the future bill.
All right. With that, thank you, Representative Poppe. With that, the chair renews his motion that House File 692 be laid over for possible inclusion in a division report. Next is House File 73. So the chair will move House File 73, Representative Gunther, to be before the committee for possible inclusion in a future division report. What would you like to say to your bill, sir?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Extended time revenue per pupil enrollment in a career and technical education, science, technology, engineering, and math course offered for secondary credit is very important to our school. And the thing that's equally important to our school is we find some way that we can have the host school, Fairmont, recoup some of their expenses. And as the superintendent said, we won't recoup them all, but we'll certainly go closer to getting paid for all the people that come and enjoy these classes they can for their futures. So I'm very glad to say that Mr. Bonin was one of my employees, along with his mom and dad and brother. And I'm very proud of the fact that he did that. I remember coming up here to watch a robotics thing in the Capitol. And I said, boy, where did this kid get so smart? And now I look what he's doing, and I'm very proud of him.
Very good. Any member questions for Representative Gunther? Seeing none, the chair renews his motion that House File 73 be laid over for possible inclusion in a future division report. The chair will now move House File 246 be before the committee for possible inclusion in a future division report. Representative Bennett, I understand, you could have done that.
That's okay,
I'm
Mr.
just
Chair.
clicking along. Would you like to move your amendment?
I would like to move my DE1 amendment.
All right. Representative Bennett moves House File 246 DE1 amendment to be before the committee. It's an author's amendment. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion prevails. Representative Bennett, to your bill as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just briefly, I want to say I had the opportunity to come and visit this program in Fairmont, I think a year ago or so, and I was so impressed and amazing. What I really love to see, aside from all the good things we've heard already, is that we had students who were exceeding in their education, working side by side with students who were struggling. And I think that is a really neat thing, too. And they wouldn't normally have that opportunity because of their schedule loads during the school day. And the other thing that's really neat is it allows for schools to collaborate with other districts. I saw Blue Earth students there. And if that was held during the school day, that would not be possible. So what a great program. My bill briefly basically does the same thing, but the funding source is different. Mr. Chair, would you maybe have Mr. Stromer allow him to compare the two funding sources for our committee?
Certainly.
From the different bills.
Assist us in that? Or is there someone?
Mr. Chair, Representative Bennett, we're waiting for fiscal notes to see if we can get a sense on each of the different variations, how much the cost will be. And as Representative Bennett said, that with the amendment to hers, that would be the narrowest and the cheapest version. But we're still waiting on the fiscal notes for those.
So, Representative Bennett, if I understand, yours is a grant program as opposed to a formula.
Correct, yes.
Okay,
And mine
thank
would
you.
be a grant appropriation, whereas the, thank you, Mr. Chair, and the other funding source is working with the extended learning stream that's that's here, and so there's different impacts. What I want to say is I just want to see this funded. And so whatever the committee decides, I think would be great, whether it's the funding source that my bill allows or Representative Poppe's, Representative Gunther's. We need to get this funded. It's a great, for not only this program, but other school districts to start. And I believe down the line, it would be good to actually include it in the, general ed formula. But right now, we just need to get it going.
Step by step,
Yes.
perhaps. All right. With that, I guess I have to renew my motion that House File 246, as amended, be laid over for possible inclusion in a future division report. Superintendent?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Just a comment about that. As a former legislator myself, I fully understand why fiscal notes are needed, but I want to caution the committee on this. First of all, when you do a fiscal note, sometimes it's applied to all the high schools in the state of Minnesota. Here's the punchline. There's very few high schools that still have vocational programs. That's point one. Point two, there's very few high schools that still have certified vocational teachers that are even on staff or are willing to come in on a Saturday or in the summer. And thirdly, there's probably not that many students across the state that are willing to come in on a Saturday or after school or in the summertime. And so my hope is that knowing the fact that we need over $250,000, we'll take $250,000 too. The fact that we need 250,000 workers, we have the jobs. The jobs are there. We need 250,000 workers in the next 36 months. That's getting to be a crisis level. And if we could produce just 1,000 more kids to go directly, and as Mr. Bodine didn't point out, but we have 14 of our high school students that have graduated in the last 2 or 3 years that are working full-time for Zerke, making a great living, more than teachers, and driving a better car than I have. And they're doing very well without any college debt. And so look at the fiscal note, but think about the fact that go back to your schools and find out how many of you really still have certified vocational teachers, and do you still have vocational programs? And
A good place to close, members. Superintendent, thank you very much. Recall, members, we are in recess, call of the chair, approximately 6:30 p.m. Thank you very much.